Very good evening, friends. Meeting again in the session of Stuart Close Philosophy, and we are on concluding part of the chapter, that is the susceptibility, reaction, and the immunity, where he tried to explain exactly what do you mean by susceptibility, how this susceptibility produces a reaction of a vital force or vital energy, and what is its correlation with the immunity. All three things he tried to explain over there with his good examples, with very simple examples, and tried to make concepts clear. He explained over there certain times where there is a suspended animation state, where there is no chance um, for the person to react, and patient is in a absolutely disturbed state, where even Hahnemann have mentioned that where the susceptibility is hampered or destroyed on the verge of death, then there are medicines which are required in small quantity but in material doses you might require. Once patient is out of that danger, then you can treat him on the basis of symptom similarity with the potentized remedy. But till that period, sometimes you have to take the help of the coffee in small amount. Sometimes you have to take the help of brandy in order to get the vigor over there, the heat over there, the vital heat over there. And this he has mentioned over there, but that is not in big quantity, that is in a minimum quantity which you can give over there and produce the result. So up to this we have discussed the in yesterday's lecture. Let us start with the concluding part on page number 85, the paragraph number 3. Deficient reaction or diminished susceptibility may exist in a case or appear during treatment and constitute a condition requiring special treatment. This is especially true in the treatment of chronic diseases where improvement ceases and well-selected remedies do not seem to act. Under such circumstances, it may sometimes be necessary to give a dose of what is called an intercurrent remedy. Bonninghausen mentions as appropriate in such cases carbovage, lauroceraceus, moscus, opium, sulfur, etc. To these may be added the typical nosodes, that is medorinum, the soranum, the pyrogen, the tuberculinum, the sipilinum, and also the thuja. The choice of any particular one of these remedies must be governed by the history and symptom. So, what he is mentioning, there are certain cases where there is lack of reaction because of susceptibility got hampered due to long continued use of allopathic medicines. Patient is not reacting to anything, and in order to produce a reaction in him, certain intercurrent remedies can be used. Generally, it has been known to everyone, the nosodes works beautifully in such types of cases. Nosodes are big boosters because with the help of nosodes, the reaction is stimulated, but it depends on for what case and for what patient you are giving that or utilizing nosode. It depends, it varies from individual to individual. For psychotic patient, you might require the medorinum, or sometimes even if the patient is chilly, the thuja. For tubercular patients, you might require tuberculinum or basilinum. For psoric patient, you might require sulfur or soranum. And all those remedies here works to stimulate the vitality. And once the vitality is stimulated, the symptoms comes out. And once symptoms comes out, then it is a good time to find it out a totality and find it out a simillimum for the case. So, certain times, when in chronic diseases where the susceptibility is already hampered so much, to stimulate the susceptibility, the nosodes or intercurrent remedies are works, and this has been mentioned by Bonninghausen. Excessive reaction or irritability is a condition sometimes met where the patient seems to suffer an aggravation from every remedy without corresponding improvement. There is a state of general hypersensitiveness. For such a state, Bonninghausen recommends asaram, chamomilla, coffea, china, ignatia, Naxomica, pulsatilla, Teucrium verum, and valeriana. So, there are certain sensitive individuals to whom they react to every remedy whatever was given to them. And in such types of cases, if sensitivity is too much, then you have to find it out a remedy which is having a similar type of sensitivity. In your Matremedica, coffee is too sensitive, chamomile is too sensitive, Naxomica is too sensitive. Even the Teucrium is too sensitive. China is sensitive. So there are many more remedies which are sensitive, and to tackle that sensitivity of the patient with the help of similar pace remedies, having that same sensitivity, you have to use that in a proper way, not to repeat too much, but that tackles the susceptibility and brings or satisfies susceptibility and brings patient to the normal. Aggravation after mercury requires heparin and nitric acid. So he is giving you a practical approaches in order to tackle the cases if there is a aggravation after giving the mercurius, the nitric acid and heparin. These are good remedies to tackle that aggravation, medicinal aggravation. Therapeutic suggestion is of use in all such cases to calm and soothe terrified, excited patients. But in these, as in all other cases, the case and remedy must be carefully investigated and individualized. So, there is no fixed rule that you must give this remedy. Ultimately, it depends upon what patient reacts and what patient presents. Your prescription is based upon exactly what the patient is presenting. So after giving first remedy and the way the patient has reacted, you have to take into consideration the everything, and accordingly your remedy is based. We see therefore that the cure or successful treatment of the disease depends not only upon conserving or utilizing the natural susceptibility of the living organism, but on properly adjusting both remedy and dose to the needs of the organism, so that susceptibility shall be satisfied, normal reaction induced, and equilibrium and health is restored. The law of least plus should never be forgotten. The quantity of necessary to effect any change in the nature is least possible. And here he explains exactly that just giving a perfect simillimum is not sufficient. Here you have to come to the right potency. Again, you have to take into consideration whether to repeat or not to repeat. Because all those three things are necessary in order to get a successful result. Even though your remedy is perfect but potency is wrong, it makes the change or it makes the chaos. Sometimes it might happen that your potency is good, the remedy is good, but you don't know whether to repeat or not to repeat, again creates the problem. And that's why my suggestion to all of you is, I'll go through the chapter of posology written in this book by Stuart Close, a biggest chapter, but given a very thorough explanation regarding the potency. Yes, definitely we're going to learn that in this year only. But this is a good for the practitioners to read to understand exactly what Hahnemann wants to say or what Close tried to explain the Hahnemann's concept. And that's why he says, whatever you are going to give, it should be least possible. Immunity, which is obtained at the cost of integrity and purity of the organism, vital organism, and its fluids, is not, it's too dearly purchased. So, whatever the immunity is obtained at the cost of purity and integrity of the vital organism and its fluids, is with the help of this specific remedy can develop, but you cannot purchase that. It is not available anywhere. It is stimulated with the help of proper simillimum. On the basis of judging the susceptibility, on the basis of finding it out a perfect remedy and giving it in a right dose. And then to conclude the chapter, he goes further. Inoculation of the crude pathological products like animal sera and vaccines confers only a spurious immunity through impairment and destruction of normal susceptibility. It results in the contamination and poisoning of the entire organism sets up morbid condition instead of healthy one and leads to the physical degeneration. And this is the day-to-day practice. We observe this. There are many children who are suffering because of respiratory affections, and the reason is that right from the day one, the people starts giving them vaccines. The healthy person, where the healthy child, where there is a good harmony, gets disturbed because of vaccinations, and vaccination stimulates the immune reactions in an exaggerated way and creates the problem. So susceptibility gets tremendously disturbed because of the seras or vaccines. And to conclude, last he says, the homeopathic remedy correctly chosen upon indications afforded by anamnesis and symptoms of the disease, as manifested in the individual and community, and administered in infinitesimal doses per aurum, satisfies the morbid susceptibility, supplies the need of the organism, and confers a true immunity by promoting health, which is the true object to be gained. So to conclude chapter, he says that if you want to gain the immunity in the patient, whatever is needed is nothing but the proper, perfect homeopathic remedy given in perfect dose and in proper repetition. So here completes first chapter from Stuart Close for the third year syllabus. Tomorrow's session will start with the next chapter, that is chapter number 10, that is indisposition and the second best remedy. So all chapters from the third year syllabus, they are of practical value in practice. One must go through them thoroughly, read them again and again, so that concept becomes very clear in your mind. So that's all for today. And today evening, we'll definitely have a lecture, the concluding part on the carbon group remedies. So thank you and good evening.